Welcome back to the Balancing Act. Today we're here with Cian, and first I'm going to ask you what's the most unexpected thing that's ever inspired you?
You know, what I'll say is, when you go on YouTube and you look at a big YouTuber who's got like 20 million subscribers and you look at their old videos,
Mm-hmm.
and their old videos from like 10 years ago, they'll be saying things like, oh, let's get this video to 10 likes, guys. But 10 likes now at their current point would be really small for them. So seeing stuff like that just sort of inspires me because it reminds you that they started out small as well.
Mm-hmm.
So like no matter what you're doing, you might be starting out small, but you put in the work and you just keep going consistently and you could grow. And it's just really heartwarming to see stuff like that. And even a more recent example I'll give is like Doechii, for example. She won obviously she won a Grammy recently, but then there's been a video from about 5 years ago saying that she got fired from her job.
Mm-hmm.
But then she went from that to Grammy award-winning artist.
Yeah, that's really good. There's a lot of artists with like similar stories, but completely different.
Exactly.
But they all do that. Oh, that's very interesting. So today I made you some chocolate cupcakes. You're breaking the trend of red velvet. Here you go.
Red velvet. Yeah, no, chocolate's my favorite. So yeah, thanks.
You're very welcome. Let me know how they taste. So let's start off. Can you tell us what you do and what made you choose this career path?
So currently I'm a researcher and data manager at a conferences and media company.
Mm-hmm.
So the company covers things to do with institutional investment, so like asset management and pension funds, insurers. What are they doing with the money that they have, basically? And what made me decide to go into that is because I did a degree in economics.
Mm-hmm.
That sort of felt like a logical pathway for me. I've always been the sort of guy to be dealing with numbers and, dealing with money and finance. It's just experiencing that world has been quite fascinating. So that's why I wanted to get into that sort of institutional investment side of things.
So you say like your degree was helpful in doing your day-to-day role, or you didn't really need a degree to do what you do?
In some ways it's been useful. I mean, in the work that I do right now, there's a lot of like going through financial statements and just reading a bunch of numbers that can be difficult to interpret if you don't know what you're doing. But with the degree I have, it's like, okay, you can look at a financial statement, for example, and there's a bunch of numbers and you can say, oh yeah, this company's revenue has grown from this to that.
Mm-hmm.
But what is the context for that?
Okay.
You can't just interpret the numbers by themselves. You have to say, okay, why have the numbers grown? What were the economic conditions or political conditions that led to those numbers? And so having a degree in economics has helped me understand the sort of dynamics in that sort of way. So it's definitely been helpful. And I know as I progress through my career, it's going to become even more helpful.
Okay, so did you do a grad scheme or did you just go into an entry level role?
I did not do a grad scheme, actually. The thing is, like, I was looking for grad schemes, but obviously,
they're hard.
Job market.
Let's not talk about the grad scheme. It's like the Hunger Games. I'm sorry. Sometimes I see things that I said, no, I can't apply for it.
It's
mentally draining.
It really, I mean, did you apply for one?
I'm trying to, but I'm graduating this year. So I've been applying.
It's just long, isn't it?
Do you know what? I applied for more internships than I have grad schemes.
This is, honestly, it's like that, especially in this current job market as well. Like,
gosh, please don't even. I hate the job market. I've tried to apply for roles abroad, but it's so hard.
Oh yeah, because like visa sponsorship and all of that.
So even that, it's just they say, oh, like for example, I looked at Dubai. They said, oh, UAE nationals. If I do something like the Netherlands, it's very cryptic of what they're gonna do. So a lot of people say get a job in a company. If they have a job office abroad, work in the office.
Yeah, that makes sense. I know quite a few people have done that as well, and because Yeah, people say it's easier to break in and then make the lateral move rather than trying to go directly into a foreign country. So that's definitely something to look at.
So you just apply for like a normal entry-level role position?
I was just looking at anything really, like
anything.
Yeah. So like not just grad schemes or like formal schemes, but like just entry level roles as well. So the one I'm in is not a grad scheme per se, where you have, because I know with grad schemes sometimes people go on like rotations between different departments, and it's more structured and things like that. But with mine, it's just an entry level job. Obviously, you do learn things on the job and you are shown the ropes, but it's not as formal as a setting where it's like, okay, you spend 6 months here, another 6 months there. For me, it was just an entry level role.
Yeah, definitely. 'Cause I'm thinking of just doing entry level roles, but I have to wait till my degree's done before I can, because I found one, but I hadn't finished my degree yet. So there's a lot that start like next month, and I'm so, oh my gosh, yeah, I want to do it, but I can't do it because I don't graduate yet. So I have to finish graduating. So what are your views on grad schemes? Are there any tips that you may have, like navigating? Because grad schemes there's a lot of pressure to get a grad scheme, and if you don't get a grad scheme at the end of your degree, you feel like a failure essentially.
Yeah, and in that respect, turn off LinkedIn. Get off LinkedIn when it's applications use. Well, obviously use LinkedIn for applications, but when it comes to the times when everyone is saying, "I'm pleased to announce I won a grad scheme at this company," turn off LinkedIn. You will do wonders for your mental health.
Especially it's for a role that you applied for, and they ghosted you. I got ghosted.
Too many.
And I emailed them. I said, "Oh, like, have I heard?" Ghosted. Nothing.
It's just, it can be disheartening. So, yeah.
I just said I will get an entry level role. Like before, I didn't know about entry level role. Now I do, and now I'm in my current role. I'm just like, I'll get it when I get it. Like I speak to a lot of people. So in my field, law, I spoke to a girl. She didn't go straight into going to do her, what's it called? Is it not qualifying? What's the word again? Training contract. Training contract, that's it. Yeah. How can I forget? Training contract. Training contract. She didn't go straight into a training contract. She did a master's in medical law.
Okay.
And then she's gone and said, I'm really interested in this area of medical law. And look, I've done my master's. So it's like a lot of people don't go straight into things. They do a master's, take a break, or get experience in that field so that they can, I think that's what employers like to see, like your productivity, proactiveness, and looking to learn.
Yeah. I think, a lot of it is just doing your homework in whatever you want to do, because even with things like law, for example, obviously I'm not into law, but like, obviously there are different types of law, like you said, medical law, there could be civil law, criminal law, whatever. And if you want to get into law in general, you might want to explore what type of law do you want to do. It's the same thing with what I'm trying to get to, the investment industry. You hear people talk about different asset classes or whatever, but, it's not just looking at investments. You can specialize in like stocks, or you can specialize in debt, for example. And each of those types of asset classes comes with different, different workloads. So just doing your homework, and like what I did especially was reach out to people who are in those roles.
Okay, that's really good. LinkedIn.
Yeah. And the group chat, actually.
And the group chat, oh yeah. We're in Beyond Education.
Shout out Stephen.
Yes, Stephen, yeah. He sends us his TikTok videos. Motivation. So much motivation in the group chat as well. I peeked some of it, and I started like getting and engaging in the conversations in the group chat. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is very interesting. Like I came out of my shell a bit, but it's like, it's interesting to know different people's views on things. And when Stephen asks about, I forgot what he asked for about the recruitment process of one particular organization.
Right, yeah.
And I was like, do you know what? Out of all of the places that I've actually applied for, I particularly like that organization. And they want you to succeed because they have like a whole like page dedicated to how they do their tests and on all of that. And you get to practice and practice. I know other places have it, but they were like the first place to actually put in your face and And they're the ones that always, I mean, people may guess it from what I'm about to say, but if you apply for 10,000 black interns, they're the first people to always get back to you. They've always, and I've applied to them twice. And, but yeah, like, I strongly say networking as well.
Yeah, definitely.
So how do you balance full-time work and being a music producer?
That is a tricky one. And I'm still learning because not only am I working full-time and being a music producer, but I'm also studying.
And what are you studying
So
for?
CFA, Chartered Financial Analyst, which is, it's basically the qualification that investment managers,
Investment.
that's their sort of holy grail.
There's a
type of
couple of financial qualifications.
Yep.
They're hard.
And yeah, it's not easy. I mean, for me, because I did economics at undergrad level, a lot of the stuff it's just a refresher to me.
So you got like a basic.
Yeah.
So you would say like your degree helps in a sense whereby it gives you a basic understanding of certain things. So it's not like someone like me. I've never done economics. I do have a passion for finance, but I haven't done finance. It will be harder for someone like me to wrap my head around compared to someone like you because you got that grounded understanding.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
It's still difficult CFA in particular is still difficult in the sense that there's just so much content. It's just waffle.
So what is your revision technique? Because some people say do the practice test. Just don't even look at the book. Keep on doing practice tests. What is your technique?
I lean towards practice and mocks, simply because by getting stuff wrong, you can see where you're weak and then identify what needs working on. But obviously, so what I did a lot of the time is I'll just go through a lot of practice questions, see where I went wrong, and then go back to the sections that, you know, obviously I was weak in. Obviously, this is after I've gone through the whole curriculum already.
Yeah.
So from when I enrolled in CFA, what I would do is I'll go through the whole curriculum, do the practice questions as I go through the curriculum. And then when I reach the end, I do the mocks and I redo the questions and I see where I've gone wrong or where I haven't retained information, because obviously some of the stuff I would have covered like 6 months prior. But then will I have remembered that now?
Okay, yeah.
Maybe and maybe not. So I have to refresh myself on those and just keep iterating, keep doing practice and keep seeing where I'm going wrong until you get stronger.
Is this qualification part of your role or is it something that you decide to pick up on the side?
It's something that I've picked up because it will help in the type of career that I want to do.
Okay.
But obviously some companies will, for the qualification,
if you're working
directly in that role.
So yeah, go on.
But me, I just picked it up myself simply because, you know, in self-development, I mean, if anything, even if a role doesn't come out of it, the knowledge is very useful, in my opinion.
Okay. So do you use a training provider or is it like you just look at the book yourself and there's no slides, there's no...
I just use the book myself. I mean, with CFA, they do have an online learning resource as well. So like, that's where I did all the practice questions. And then because it's online, there are like some algorithms that you can tell you, oh yeah, you're weak on this, you need to work on this. But yeah, it was just to provide CFA that I used. I know there are plenty of people who use third-party providers as well.
Would you want to use that or you just want to just do it like just book and that's it?
I mean, I'm tempted to go with third-party providers simply because the original book is just long. Like, there's so much to go through, whereas I hear that providers tend to condense things a bit. But I suppose that risks missing out certain information that the original book has. So,
but you'll still have to refer back to the book as well.
Exactly, yeah, because, yeah.
So there's no point. I mean, there's a point and there's not a point at the same time.
Yeah, so I suppose it depends if you're willing to deal with overly verbose lessons.
Do you have one exam to sit or is it like 3 exams or how many exams? Is it different units or Yeah,
so there are 3 levels in total. I just sat the first level on Tuesday. Well, just under a week ago.
Okay, how was that?
It was okay. I'm confident about it. The exam was 4 hours 15 minutes in total, but it is multiple choice.
4 hours of multiple choice.
Yep.
I have never heard of multiple choice being 4 hours. I don't even think the SQE is that long.
So, I'm telling you, the curriculum is long. It's long. So I get that I suppose I get why they make it that long, but the exam that long, but at the same time, like.
So when are you going to get your results back?
I'll probably have to wait about 6 weeks or so.
I thought you straight away.
No, because there's some type of waiting process with the marks, and the CFA Institute, they work their magic with all the scores and determine what the passing mark is and all of that. And also because obviously people are taking the exams at different times in different locations, so they have to wait for everyone else to have sat their exam as well. So I don't know, but about 6 weeks, I'd say.
Oh gosh. So how do you manage to find time to be a music producer?
Sometimes I don't. I'll be honest with you. I mean, especially in the last few weeks leading up to the exam, I just didn't open my music at all. I just didn't touch it at all because I just had to focus on the exam. But when it's not so much of a crunch time, I just have to be really strict with my time. So, for example, I go to work, then I'll go to work, come home, I might do a bit of music, and then I might do a bit of studying, for example. But then the only thing with being so tight with your time is that something has to give. So there's a lot of things that I value in my life that I want to be doing with my time. Obviously work, music and studying, but also having a social life.
Social life is good for your mental health.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be locked away in my room for.
But at the same time, I say grind now.
Yeah, of course.
And all those social for the whole 3 years, I tell people, no, I can't come out, and they think I'm being like mean, but my education comes first, and I'm paying a lot for my education.
True.
But have a break. Have a break.
Course.
There's a time to play. Like Mom says, there's a time for everything. There's a time to learn. There's a time to play. Like, don't make your playtime outweigh your learning time. And don't let your learning time outweigh your playtime. Everything is a balance. That's why we're called the balancing act, because you got to balance in between the two, and especially being young as well. You want to fly out. You want to experience, but like you said, the qualification you're going to get, I'm sure it's going to be worth a lot of money to someone that has, opposed to someone that is going for a grad scheme, doing it for 3 years. They got to pass all the exams. If they don't pass the exam, they get fired. With you, it's more self-paced. There's a difference. So it takes the pressure off.
Exactly. I think the most difficult part of this is just balancing everything. And as I said, something has to give eventually. So even when I was doing my exam, there was always people shouting at me for motives. I'm like, yeah, I can't come to this. Like, I have to lock in for my exam. Or sometimes, which you shouldn't be doing, but I'll sacrifice sleep because I'm just spending time.
Me and sleep.
Sleep is so important. Do not sacrifice sleep, please, for your health.
And sleep. What can I tell you about me and sleep? Let's just say I have not slept and I don't sleep.
Really?
But it's not because I'm studying. It's because I'm tired. And because I'm tired the next day and the next day and the next day. I feel so overwhelmed because there's just so much things to do. But it's like, I'm not actually doing anything. I just lay in bed because I'm just so tired. Like, I'm just thinking about doing my readings for my law or doing my lecture slides. One time I had 103 lecture slides. I just closed the laptop. I said, it's not today. And I still got to read, and I still got to do my learning. I still got to do my tutorial. I got to revise. I got to make my revision cards. But one thing I did, I spoke to my lecturers, and they said, do your revision cards. I'm going to do my revision cards before my exam so that I can just get it through. But reading over your notes, I don't read over my work.
Me neither.
It's so bad.
I swear, when it comes to studying, I'm not really much of a note taker, because to me, I'm not going to look back at the notes. I'm just going to look back at the book.
Yeah,
and also in the real world, I'm more so probably going to rely on what I retain up here rather than what's in my notes.
Yeah, because I stopped highlighting because I'm highlighting, but I don't know what I'm highlighting. So I said, I'm just going to read the book. So I'm just going to read like I'm reading a normal book and then just implement before I go to bed, read half an hour.
Mm-hmm.
I can read my normal book, but they expect a lot from us.
I can imagine with law, like so much reading of documents and stuff, like
law
cases and everything. I imagine it's long.
I'm already hating on my cybersecurity assignment. Like, I didn't even know they release it next month.
Damn.
And they told us start thinking about the question before they release the question. Then I've got to make 10 pages of notes to take into one of my exams. One of my exams, I got to print off the whole GDPR.
Hey.
And one of them, my lecturer didn't even get back to me about the book because I found the book, a cheaper version of the book, but it seems like I'm going to have to buy the expensive one, so I'm going to have to buy it, the latest one. And I think I'm going to go and read through. I need to get the book before my exam so I know what's in the book, so I know what to look for.
Mm-hmm.
Because when my exam comes, it's not now I'm going to be learning the book. And I said to my lecturer, do I need a whole GDPR? She told me what I need to do. So I need to go to my library and print it off before I forget what she said. But I wrote it down somewhere, so I have to find it. But it's a lot, you know. It's a lot.
Can imagine.
It's a lot. But what are the pros and cons of your career?
Pros, it definitely can give you an insight into just the way the world runs in general. Like, you'd be surprised how much of stuff is backed by various investment managers and private equity is the big one.
Yeah.
Like,
I think it's like it's a shock to the system. There's so many things that I've learned. Once the information's there, but we never use it.
It's never really like in the forefront of people's periphery. Like, you know, there are a lot of connections that people wouldn't think to make. Like, you know, your pension fund is funding this thing.
Oh my God. Pension funds. Like, and I understand that when I used to when I opened up a stocks and shares ISA, I didn't know what ethical and unethical things like investing was. Then I understood the difference like between the two.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, it's like that.
It's like that.
It's very interesting.
It is. So yeah, it does give you, there's definitely insight to be learned if you decide to go into the sort of investment management industry or just finance in general. If you like numbers, you like the career in general. I've always been like a sort of numbers STEM guy, which is a bit weird how I turned out to be a music producer, but hey.
I mean, you need 6 to 7 forms of income. I've been saying this. You need 6 to 7 forms. Yep. You need 6 to 7 forms of income to survive.
Yep, that's true.
In the UK. No one's making it off your 9 to 5 guaranteed yearly salary.
No,
I think once you finish the qualification, you'll be fine.
I should be fine. I think more than anything, I just want to be able to have a stable source of income that can fund anything else that I want to do.
Yeah.
Outside of work hours.
Yeah. Because,
you know, and this is why I didn't go into something like investment banking, for example, in the sense that banking, like the people at JP Morgan and, for example, the hours that they will work up to 100 hours.
I'm willing to sacrifice. If it was like I'm working on a grad scheme and I'm going to get a qualification or that experience, I'm willing to sacrifice, but I'm not willing to sacrifice with outside of the grad scheme, if you get what I mean. Like, I know I've got to put in that work because I don't have that experience. But if I'm experienced, why am I pushing 100 hours? And I'm not learning anything. I'm just working the 100.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know.
I'll only push 100 hours if I'm learning, like you're studying towards a qualification, pushing those 100 hours. But I cannot fathom why I should push in 100 hours and it's just to work.
Yeah, it's just like you give so much of your life to, you know, these 100-hour work weeks. And for a lot of the people who do it, it's an exit opportunity, right? You do it for a year or two, then you move into private equity or you move into something else. So for that, it's fine. But for me, I really do value having,
Work-life balance.
yes, a balanced lifestyle.
I
So
think we all do. We want to enjoy the fruit. I'm sorry, I don't believe in waiting until I'm retired. Or the rhetoric of wait till the kids are older. Because, like, that don't make any sense. I want to enjoy my youth because you're not going to go to Thailand and go to the moon dance party at 70 years old or 60
Exactly.
years old. Not just saying that you're not going to want, you're going to want for a relaxing, a cruise. You're not going to want to down 25 Jaeger bombs. But you want to do it when you're younger.
Exactly.
But you're not going to be like, I don't know. But what are the cons of your career?
The cons, well, I mentioned one of the pros is if you like numbers, then get into it. So if you don't like numbers, don't get into it because, well, actually, I don't know. The numbers that you would tend to use, I don't think are the most advanced, I would say. Like, but yeah, there's still numbers involved. If you don't like numbers, then stay away probably, unless you're going into a different section of the investment management industry. So, for example, you don't just have the analysts who look at a company's stock performance and the numbers behind that, for example. You know, you have people who deal with the client side and, you know, people who actually talk to the clients and bring them the funds and whatever, for example. So that's another point actually I was going to make. Depending on what you do, there can be a lot of interaction with people and, you know, clients. And if you're extroverted, fine. If you're introverted, that might be a bit overwhelming, especially when it comes to certain things like conferences and networking parties and things like that. You're going to have to be talking to people.
I love networking.
I do. I like them. But they force me to come out of my shell a bit.
Yeah,
because
it does.
Historically, I've not been very extroverted. Like, tend to keep to myself a lot, but just going to a lot of these events and just talking to people, like, it's definitely opened me up. And I remember, I'll tell a brief story about the job I'm in right now. The first time I met the team, they were having a conference at the London Stock Exchange.
Oh,
so
I wanted to find a grad scheme there, but you know,
it's very nice in there, definitely.
I can imagine.
But first time I met that team was at London Stock Exchange. Now, I'm a fairly fresh graduate, and this is my first role out of uni. And so I'm meeting a bunch. Now, the people that we have at our conferences are like CEOs of this, head of finance of that, chief investment officer of this. But because I'm a fresh grad, I'm like, okay, there's all these people in senior positions and I'm here. I don't understand what anyone is saying about anything. And it was a funny experience being so green in a room full of senior professionals, because you'll go up to them and say, oh, hi, I'm new here. And then, you know, you ask them certain things about what they do, and then they'll talk about a bunch of investment strategies and whatever. And at the time, I don't really understand them because using a bunch of jargon that I don't know. But getting out of my shell and just sort of experiencing those sort of things, you know, I think if that was 3-4 years ago and I was invited to meet the team under the same circumstances, I probably would have refused, because I'd be like, oh no, London Stock Exchange, all these finance professionals, what am I going to do?
Did someone recommend you from there to do the CFA qualification, or did you just find it yourself?
I just found it myself, like, it was just a bit of research, really, like, based on the fact that I wanted to be in the investment management industry. And CFA is like the holy grail of investment management. So I was like, okay, let me do this. Let me tackle this.
And then get that out of the way. Ooh, okay. So, what advice would you give to someone who is just starting out?
Talk to people. Definitely. Talk to people, because, and what I mean is like networking in a traditional sense. Like, talk to people who are senior, who are just starting out like you as well. For example, if you're trying to get like an internship position at a company, you can talk to someone who's already an intern there because they've freshly been through the experience and they know they're going to be in the best position to give you the advice you need. Seniors as well, they'll give you valuable info, but they're probably less likely to give you the time of day simply because they're probably more busy. You know, they're working a lot more, their schedule is more packed, so they probably won't have as much time to talk to you about whatever advice you need. But definitely seek out the professionals in your industry and, you know, just pick their brains as much as they're willing to give you information, because it'll give you guidance for where you want to take your own career, how you want to approach it. You know, I think, especially in my case, I didn't have, much mentorship per se.
Yeah.
Like, people always say, oh, yeah, what's one piece of career advice you'd give? Oh, get a mentor. But like, I've never done mentorship or anything. I've always been the type of person to like try to find things out for myself, do things my own way. But obviously, no man is an island. So
yeah, it's
definitely been useful reaching out to people who are working in investment management, reaching out to people who deal with certain different asset classes. Like, for example, I reached out to someone who's in real estate, someone who's in like energy infrastructure, and then obviously your typical equity and fixed income. Like, speaking to these people and seeing what they're, like I mentioned earlier, what type of work they're doing and the sort of how they feel about the work they're doing more than anything. If you are just starting out, you want to know, you want to know what you're in for, don't you? So if you're starting out in a career and then someone tells you that, oh yeah, this is not for the faint-hearted, this is not for the faint-hearted, this is not for someone who doesn't like this, doesn't like that, you get that pre-warning for certain things that, you're able to avoid.
Okay. That's very interesting. I got a mentor by my uni. And do you know what it is? I needed it for uni. It grounded me. I learned certain things about myself. But I do hear a lot of things that I found out myself. I just looked up what I'm interested in. I use a bit of ChatGPT.
Of course.
To work out what the salaries are, because it's too long. What are the salaries for this role? What are the career progressions? How can I get to this salary by the time I'm 30? Because I never really thought about salaries until now.
That's yeah.
You need a lot of money to survive in the UK. Someone said 200K, 100K, just, But if you want to, I think someone asked the question on ChatGPT or something like that. They asked it somewhere and it was like, I believe it was like 200K to live comfortably.
I would not be surprised at all.
But who's on 200K?
Exactly. One of the presidents of companies, I don't know.
So what would you have done differently? Would you have always gone to uni, or would you have gone for an apprenticeship, or just said, forget it, I'll start working?
I think I would have done a degree with a year in industry or a year abroad.
I wish I did that. I actually regret. I was thinking about it today and I said, I regret it so much. I wish I did a year in industry. I mean, I could do my master's and do that, but do I want to go straight into doing a master's?
Yeah, I don't know.
But if I do a year industry experience, I can get paid.
And especially in today's climate, employers are placing more and more emphasis on experience. So especially in my case, I didn't do any internships at uni because when it came to summertime, I just wasn't. I applied for internships in like second and third year, didn't get any.
But in first,
yeah.
Because the first, that's when they want you. They want to mold you.
Exactly.
They have so many programs, and when I see the good program, gotta be first year, or you gotta be in your penultimate. And I said, oh, forget you. Like, I remember last year, I did do an internship. Like last year, I did one in law, I did one in finance, but I was like, forget you, go away. And I was so upset. But graduate schemes are like gold, not gold dust, but they're just too much for my little head to wrap around.
Yeah, grant schemes, they seem like they can be
It's
quite
so
full on.
competitive.
But
It's the Hunger Games out there.
yeah, I mean, I probably would have still applied for them and gone for one. But in terms of like from starting uni, I probably would have done industry and been more serious about applying to internships and
internship.
like just getting experience during uni in general.
I kind of like said, I'll work, I'll figure it out. Now I'm just like, I'm done applying for grad schemes. I'll figure it out again. I'd rather just focus on the degree and then apply for grad schemes after I, like, this year come in grad schemes for next year. I think that's what I'm going to do. Did I want to do that? No. But it makes sense just for my mental health right now. And I think for everyone's mental health, not getting a grad scheme it doesn't mean that you're a failure.
Exactly. Like,
doesn't.
Even if you don't get something like straight out of uni, like a grad scheme or entry level or whatever, like, I know there will be a lot of pressure to be like, hey, did you get a position at this, whatever. Like, there's going to be a lot of pressure on that. But, you know, if that doesn't happen so quickly, that doesn't devalue you. That doesn't devalue you at all.
No, it doesn't. It completely doesn't. It just means that, like, I feel like the transition between college and uni and then uni and work, they don't prepare us. Like, this is the whole reason why I started this podcast, so that people make informed decisions when they come out of college or they're already in uni and they're thinking about the next steps.
Mm-hmm.
We're always going to have the next steps, but having a clear idea and a clear picture of where you aspire to be and what everyone wants. You don't want the job because of the job. You want the job because of the money. Let's be honest.
Let's be
when
real
people
here,
say,
man.
why do you want the job? I'm thinking in my head, what do you mean, why do I want the job? I want money. If money is your motivation, look at careers or look at things that can put you in a position, because I'm sure that qualification that you have is going to put you ahead of 10,000 applicants. So it shortens your window and your opportunities because like our previous opportunities of you getting that job, because like I previously said, the lady with the training contract, she did a master's in medical law. That showed initiative that she wanted this medical law. This is what she's like.
Exactly.
Postgrad is not for the weak. We think undergrad, postgrad is everything needs to be done in a year.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just, I mean, yeah, like I feel like if I could go back, I would have definitely done a year abroad or something and experienced a different culture. I'll just be so honest with you.
Well, what country would you gone to?
I wanted to go to America. I wanted to go to Japan, Dubai, because it's hot. I like hot countries. I wanted
Get
to
out
go
of this
Dubai.
cold country.
I'm tired of the UK. I don't want to go in Europe. I might have gone to Australia, but Australia's that's the devil's playground. And I say the devil's playground.
Over there, man.
Thank you. The snake, the koala. You see, koalas look cute, yeah? A koala went into someone's house and they were like, you know, koalas are bad. I saw the comments.
They're ravenous.
I said, what? Like, they will cut. I said, no. Aren't koalas meant to be cute and
dangerous? No,
kangaroos are dangerous. Have you seen the kangaroos square up and you gotta square back up to the kangaroos or they will knock you out?
Mm-hmm. It's not trivial out there at all. You gotta be careful.
Someone said that's where the devil put all their creatures, because there were some weird creatures that were coming out of someone posted a weird creature and they're like, this is the devil's playground. I said, do you know what, yeah? It makes sense. But I would go to Australia, not knocking down the country, it's just the animals. I cannot, like kangaroos walking into people's houses and
just kick down your door one day.
I think someone had a bobcat in America. A bobcat tried to attack this poor girl.
Hey.
And the mum had to kick the bobcat away. I said, this doesn't happen in the UK. The most that someone would do to attack you is a dog or a cat, maybe some sort of pet. But
something that's a bit more domesticated.
Yeah, like
can't do too much damage.
Foxes could attack. Just stay out of the foxes' way.
Yeah, exactly.
I got attacked by pigeons, but
pigeons.
Yes, I did.
How's that happened?
They just flew into me. But you know what? Who I'm scared of the most? Seagulls. Oh,
seagulls are my arch
They
nemesis.
chased me. They were diving for me because someone took their babies. And they were I was crying. I was in, like, I used to work in, like, an industrial park sort of thing, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I swear to you, I stood there for 20 minutes crying. I said, I'm gonna die. And animal control don't come for these seagulls, you know.
Just let them roam free. Like,
because they're bullies. Like, if we're eating fish and chips at the seaside, they're taking your food. Do not even...
Don't leave it for 1 second.
Seagulls are monkeys. If they take an item from you, do not try and get back from them. Seagulls are my...
Arch nemesis.
Anything that flies. I had a bunch of crows one time near me. Even they scare me. I ran the opposite direction.
Crows are just ominous, man. Like, they just sit there. They look like they're plotting on you.
I ran.
I don't blame you.
I think all the animals are scared of seagulls. Like, all the birds are scared of seagulls. Because I saw, like, a bird, a pigeon, a crow, and they ran away. Like, the seagulls just came and took the food and was... Like, seagulls aren't to be played with. And they're... Oh, my gosh.
They're crazy.
Seagulls? Swans are vicious.
Yeah,
well, they're sharp. They got sharp teeth.
Oh, yeah, true.
I didn't know that. I thought they're so soft. But it's the cartoons. The cartoons be lying to us. They be lying
Propaganda.
to us, kids. They be lying to us and thinking that koalas are cute, monkeys are cute, the cheeky monkey. But monkeys are bloody vicious. They will kill you. And they hunt in packs. If you hit one monkey, 10,000 monkeys are coming and just let them take your phone.
It's just bad. Just let them have it, man. Honestly.
Let them have your phone. Like, they're just diabolically, like... Oh, I just... thinking about these animals. But yeah, like, the UK is not that... It's bad, but it's not that bad. Like, you got coyotes. You got the bears. I don't want a bear. Not in Australia. I know there's no bears in Australia, is it? There? I don't know. I know they're in America, but I don't want no bears. The bears are extinct over here.
Yeah, I don't think there's any here. I don't know, but
yeah, a lot of animals that are in other countries are extinct over here. That we're here are extinct. We never had monkeys, did we? No, it's too cold, isn't it?
Yeah. It's probably too cold for them. Yeah, I don't know.
Do you have any regrets?
Not doing a year in industry.
That's it.
I mean,
or like an approach, how you approach education. Do you think you took it as serious as you could have, looking back?
I probably could have taken it a bit more seriously. I mean, especially with regards to gaining experience, especially in the environment I was in, because I did economics at UCL, which is a breeding ground for, the LinkedIn warriors who will secure 10 different spring weeks and internships and announce every single one of them on their feed.
The LinkedIn warriors, salutes to them.
Honestly, like,
being a LinkedIn warrior pays off differently.
I used to be staunchly against LinkedIn because I just saw LinkedIn as like that's just where everyone shills.
I didn't know what LinkedIn was. I kept on seeing it on things, and then I just made an account. And you know what? My picture that I used was a Snapchat filter picture of me.
Snapchat filter?
Yeah. I had, little hearts. Yeah.
Oh, no.
And I had my hair slicked back and I was wearing a jacket.
Oh,
and I thought,
no.
Because I didn't have any... I don't like pictures, innit?
Yeah,
I don't like pictures, so I decided to take it down. And I got a headshot done for free at the UK Black Business Show.
There you go. See, that's better.
So I was waiting to get...
Snapchat hearts. Oh, my days.
Listen, I wasn't taking it seriously. I wouldn't do that now. Like, obviously, I was in my second year, no, my first year when I posted that. But I use LinkedIn. Like, I just have the notifications. I even keep up to date with what's going on. I have alerts for Bank of England when they post in their posts and they're talking about their studies and stuff.
It's definitely useful for that as well, which goes back to what we were talking about previously about advice for people who are starting out. Like, people always talk about commercial awareness. Knowing what's going on in your industry. Like, it's
not that hard to gain commercial awareness. Just follow people that speak about what you are interested into, and follow podcasts. I listen to the News in 10. Well, I stopped kind of listening to that. but I listen to the FT news briefings. Donald Trump's doing a lot right now.
Yeah, he's
he said he wants
crazy.
to take Palestine over. He wants Palestine, Gaza or something. Then he changed what he said. The man's mad. But anyway, don't come for me, but he's a bit, it's just, I don't know. And it's like, I'm just like, does no one not know what's going on? And then TikTok is really good as well.
Yes.
In a sense whereby I've filter out certain information, but a lot of like BBC News is on TikTok. Like a lot of news outlets are on there. So you might pick up a story or two.
Yeah, exactly.
Or something. But my last and final question to tie us up, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years, professionally or just in general?
I see myself so in terms of investment management, which is the industry I'm trying to get into, obviously the progression for that is usually like an analyst position. You're doing like the like the the groundwork, the maths and whatever. And you get associate, and then eventually you get to like a fund manager or portfolio manager type of level. So being a managerial role in that capacity would definitely be somewhere I see myself in the next 5 years, or maybe 5 years. I don't know how realistic of a time frame that is. But on that side, but also on the music side, just being more established in that, like actually working with more people who are established in the industry, just put myself more out there. So just developing both careers, being well established in both sides at the same time.
You spoke about the investment management, how you're going to progress with that. How are you going to do that with music? Because it's quite hard.
It can be, definitely. I feel like, I mean, this is true for a lot of things, I suppose, but like networking is key, like getting to know people and just working with people, especially. So in terms of music, what a lot of people might do, for example, is there might be a producer who makes beats for a bigger artist. But then sometimes producers can collaborate on a beat or on a piece of music. So if you send like certain melodies or certain drum patterns or whatever to certain producers, then that works as a sort of collaboration. Just being collaborative about it in general.
Okay then. Like, that's very interesting. But thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
It was a pleasure. But please like, follow and subscribe. I will put his details below. So if you have any questions, are they able to message and reach out to you?
Yeah, just reach out to me on LinkedIn, Cian Samuels, Cian.
Okay. All right then. Thank you very much and enjoy the rest of your evening.